growing fears that Prince Harry could end up being deported from the United States of America as Donald Trump toughens up in his second term. Link Lauren, the former senior advisor to RFK Jr., posted on X, if Trump deports Harry and Meghan, he better be put on Mount Rushmore the next day. And of course, there is a possibility of this because Niall Gardner, director of the Heritage Foundation, is absolutely pushing this court case that would see Prince Harry have to admit, if he was honest on his admission form to the US about his illegal drug use, that he went into loads of detail in Spare about. And of course, for the first time, this case will be heard in a Trump judicial system. So Link, Lauren, so great that you are here. And I am really interested to know whether you think Prince Harry is no longer going to be shielded from scrutiny like he was by Joe Biden's government.
Well, I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I actually think a lot of people don't realize the similarities between the issues the UK has had the last few years and the United States. I mean, we've had an affordability crisis, housing crisis, immigration crisis, and you guys have as well, which is why you've seen the rise of figures like Nigel Farage and Donald Trump, people who are really strong on deportations and strong on immigration, because a country without borders is not a country whatsoever, let's be honest. But yeah, no, I stand by what I said. I think if Donald Trump deports Prince Harry, he will have full legendary status for years and decades and hundreds of years to come. But my caveat is I want Meghan to go too. So everyone keeps telling me we can't deport Meghan because she's actually an American citizen. So I'm also wondering, don't you think Meghan is maybe crossing her fingers that Harry gets deported? She'll get to be the victim. She'll get to be the victim. She'll get that whole house, the kids to herself. She'll get her new reality show, Meghan Goes Single in Hollywood. I think she is like hoping, living on a prayer like Bon Jovi, that Prince Harry gets deported. But no, Tom Homan, Christy, no, we're deporting everyone else. Just throw Harry on one of those planes to Venezuela or whatever and kick him out too. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to see Harry go. They haven't contributed anything to society. They've been here 5 years. I understand we had a pandemic, but that's been over. When are you guys going to start contributing to society in any way, shape, or form besides Billie Eilish merch? I'm waiting.
And let me tell you, it's not just another tabloid frenzy. This could actually turn into a major international spectacle. This is not just political story. It's tied directly to US immigration laws and how serious they are about disclosures regarding past drug use. Harry openly detailed his history of drug experimentation in his memoir, Spare. And if we are playing by the rules, the question now becomes, did he truthfully declare all of that in his visa application? If not, well, even a prince isn't above immigration law. And Meghan, oh, Meghan. If this happens, we are not expecting her to stand by Harry with unwavering loyalty. No, no, no. According to the conversation in the video, there's a strong sense that she wouldn't hesitate to toss him aside if it meant saving herself. Or even better, climbing a few rungs up the power ladder.
Yes, very true. Very true. There is a slight fly in the ointment, though, and I'm interested to know what you think about this. So I have a theory that the thing that could stop Donald Trump getting involved is nothing to do with Prince Harry and Meghan. I mean, he hates these two. He really, really does, because he knows that he was so viciously put down by them. I mean, Meghan was slagging him off on late night TV long before she was ever with Prince Harry. So it's nothing to do with the fact that he has these very negative feelings towards Harry and Meghan personally. But it's about King Charles and Prince William, who Link, he has the utmost respect for. He loves our royal family. He met with Prince William recently. He showered praise on him. He loves King Charles. I mean, he has so much adoration for members of the royal family, in part, of course, because his mother, who was born in Scotland, was an absolute monarchist for her entire life. So my issue is that Trump will not want to cause trouble for Charles and William. And you know, the last thing Charles and William want, genuinely the last thing they want, is Harry back on a plane. Because I've reported in the past, Link, that Charles is absolutely paranoid that Harry's going to come to him cap in hand asking for millions of dollars when the money runs out because Meghan spent it all on private jets. And William just cannot stand the sight of his brother. So my worry is that Trump doesn't actually push that nuclear button because he doesn't want to offend Charles and William.
I mean, let's be honest. Meghan's history shows a pattern. Friendships, family ties, even royal life itself, all disposable when they stop serving her purpose. Social climbing isn't just a skill for her, it's practically an art form. And Harry, unfortunately, might just be the latest casualty in her relentless pursuit of influence. There's no denying that Meghan is politically ambitious. Rumors have floated for years about her aspirations in US politics. And while her public stance on Trump has been clear, she's criticized him openly. You have to wonder how long those views would last if cozying up to him offered a strategic advantage. As cynical as that sounds, it's not entirely out of character.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think Donald Trump has bigger fish to fry right now. We have MS-13 gang members, people with face tattoos, criminals, and rapists who need to be deported first. But if there's time over the next 4 years where we can reassess Harry's situation, I am all for it. I understand the folks in the UK want absolutely nothing to do with them. I'm in the UK quite often. They're not too enamored with Prince Harry or Meghan Markle whatsoever, so nobody wants them back. But speaking of Meghan Markle trashing Donald Trump, Meghan Markle would sell her soul in a second to be First Lady, okay? She would step over anything to spend a night with Donald Trump. I know it sounds crass, but Meghan Markle, the queen of social climbing, she can trash Donald Trump all she wants. She would throw Harry to the wolves in a second to get with Donald Trump. That is a fact.
Well, I've actually been desperate to ask you about...
Excuse me, that's an opinion. I don't want to get sued. They're very litigious.
Yes.
That is an opinion.
You're still allowed opinions and free speech in the US. They lock us up in the UK for that. That's a whole other conversation, Link. But actually, I've been desperate to ask you about that because I've reported on Meghan Markle for a number of years. And I was the first reporter to reveal the fact that she had ambitions to enter the White House, which I know seems like a ludicrous proposition now, but genuinely, when she was in the royal family, she made it very, very clear that she believed she could become the first female president of the US. Of course, you're a political analyst, you were in the RFK Jr. campaign. Is there any prospect of Meghan having a political career in America now?
What's fascinating is how this is all playing out in the context of shifting political landscapes. With Trump possibly eyeing another term and the US toughening up on immigration policies, Harry's story could easily become a symbol, a cautionary tale of sorts, for how even the most high-profile immigrants aren't untouchable. But let's not forget the broader implications here. If Harry is forced to face legal scrutiny, it sets a precedent that celebrity status and royal lineage don't grant you immunity in America. And maybe that's a good thing. The US has its own immigration challenges, and selectively enforcing the rules for some while turning a blind eye for others creates dangerous double standards.
I really don't see it. But then again, people are very forgiving and the news cycle moves so fast. Something that happened 6 months ago seems like a lifetime ago. So, if Meghan Markle really wanted to reinvent herself over the next few years, she could. But I think she's missing a key component, which is authenticity. We live in an era in politics where people want truth. They want authenticity. They don't expect these perfect specimens, these puritanical people to run for office, right? They're willing to accept flaws if you're going to be a warrior and be a great advocate for them and their causes, right? So like Donald Trump, everyone knows Donald Trump's not perfect. He's been open about that, but people voted for him because of his policies and they knew he was going to fight like hell for them. So Meghan Markle, if she really wanted to reinvent, she could try and maybe run for some type of smaller office in California, but I don't see it. I really don't see a lot of brilliance or intelligence. And also, she's lazy. I hate to say it, Meghan Markle doesn't want to work that much. And when you run for office, it's 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 18 months. I mean, we have very long cycles here in the United States. You guys are lucky you don't have to deal with that over there, but our campaigns will go on for 2 years. Meghan Markle doesn't have the stamina or the work ethic. I mean, she barely wants to show up and film and do anything. She, took her years to do this little show. She still hasn't done her book. I don't think she wants to work. Even when she was in the royal family for 18 months before leaving, she didn't want to go and even do the royal engagements. You know what I'm saying? She could barely handle a few events a week. I don't see how she's going to run a political campaign where she has to engage with the press off the cuff, extemporaneously, 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, and do events and be friendly. I think she will have face crack moments and she will drop the face and she will be done.
I'm not saying Meghan's deportation is on the table, but wouldn't that be something? If we are dreaming big here, a clean break for the US might not be the worst idea. No more podcasts, no more Netflix documentaries, no more endless grievance narratives dressed up as content. Of course, Meghan's a US citizen, so she's likely here to stay. But I can't help but wonder, if Harry's deported, what's her next move? The sympathy card? A rebrand as a wronged woman, rebuilding her life after a tragic royal romance? Or maybe a pivot to politics, capitalizing on her victimhood status to launch her next big career?
Ling, I'm really desperate though. Can you not apply for one of those, or the seat, the new seat in the White House briefing room to ask the amazing new press secretary? Because I'm desperate for there to be a moment where Donald Trump is asked about Harry and Meghan, right? Because he is just being so funny and so brutally honest at the moment. And in fact, I wanted to get you to react to a couple of my favorite legendary Trump moments from his second presidency so far. They're both brand new. So the first was he was asked in the, I think it was in the Oval Office about Joe Biden signing for CAA, which is the big Hollywood entertainment agency, and he gave a very brutal response.
Now, let's take a step back for a moment. We've seen this type of public unraveling before, celebrities or public figures believing they can control the narrative, only to find that public sentiment is a fickle beast. Harry and Meghan are rapidly approaching that critical tipping point. If this legal battle over Harry's visa gains traction, it could easily turn into a PR nightmare on par with some of the biggest falls from grace in recent history. Think about it. Lance Armstrong, Tiger Woods, even the Duke and Duchess of Windsor back in the day. All of them thought they were untouchable in their respective fields, until reality hit them hard. The difference is that Harry and Meghan seem particularly tone-deaf to their changing circumstances.
What do you think about Joe Biden signing on with a talent agency?
You gotta be kidding. He signed on with a talent agency?
He does. He's got some entertainment agents now.
I think he's got bigger problems than that. I really do. I think he's got much bigger problems than that, but I wish him well.
He doesn't wish him well, does he, Ling?
No. I'm thinking because my friends always make fun of me. Anytime I say, oh, I wish them well, it's like a joke amongst my friends. I usually don't wish them well. But no, Donald Trump is the consummate entertainer. I mean, the guy is a comedian. I imagine Joe Biden signed with that agency probably to do a book or speaking engagements, maybe a documentary. I'd like to see Joe Biden on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I think I'd like to see if he can pass that. Maybe we could put Meghan on there as well. But yeah, no, I'm not sure exactly what projects he has in the can. I'm sure Joe Biden will likely do a book. I think when Joe Biden passes away, Joe Biden's going to let it rip for whoever pays her the highest amount. So no, I'm not shocked that he signed with this agency, but Donald Trump is hilarious.
Well, there was an even better moment.
What's especially tone-deaf is their apparent belief that the rules don't apply to them. It's one thing to air personal grievances through interviews and documentaries. But openly writing about illegal drug use while applying for a visa? That's just plain reckless. Either Harry wasn't advised properly, or he genuinely believed his status would shield him from consequences. Either way, it's not a good look. And let's be clear, if this were anyone else, an ordinary applicant, they'd already be on a plane back to their home country. I want to pause and take a closer look at Meghan's role in all of this. Because, let's face it, she's the real strategist here. Harry may have been born into royalty, but it's Meghan who understands how to play the game in America. Her rebranding efforts over the last few years have been fascinating to watch, starting out as a self-proclaimed victim of royal oppression, then morphing into a lifestyle guru with archetypes, and now potentially eyeing a political future. The question isn't whether Meghan is ambitious, it's how far she's willing to go. Remember the 90s classic Clueless, when Cher talks about how everything can be an opportunity? That's Meghan. Every challenge is a chance to reposition herself. Every controversy is a stepping stone to a bigger platform. And while that level of ambition isn't inherently bad, it becomes problematic when it's paired with a total disregard for authenticity. People are waking up to the fact that the constant victim narrative is wearing thin. Even her most loyal supporters are starting to ask, when does the healing begin, Meghan? One thing that wasn't discussed in depth in Dan Wootton's show, but is worth mentioning, is the political dimension of this entire saga. Meghan has long been rumored to have her sights set on Washington. And what better way to position herself than as a champion of immigration reform, women's empowerment, and social justice? But here's the twist. If Harry's visa issue blows up, it puts Meghan in a tricky spot. How does she reconcile her public stance on fairness and justice with a personal situation that reeks of privilege and exceptionalism? You can't call for reform while bending the rules to your advantage. And let's talk about the most outrageous suggestion: Trump deporting both Harry and Meghan, and getting his face on Mount Rushmore the next day. While that's clearly a joke, it does point to something real: a growing fatigue with this couple's never-ending drama. It's almost like a Netflix series that's overstayed its welcome. The first few episodes were compelling: royal weddings, palace intrigue, Oprah interviews. But by season 4, the audience is ready to move on. People want resolution, not a constant rehash of grievances. So, where do Harry and Meghan go from here? Well, that depends on whether they are willing to step back and reevaluate their strategy. If they continue down this path, doubling down on victimhood and expecting special treatment, they're going to alienate even more people. Their popularity in the UK is already in free fall, and US audiences are starting to grow wary as well. The smartest move would be to take a break from the spotlight. Focus on genuine philanthropy. Stay out of politics. And for the love of God, stop giving interviews about the same 5 grievances. Meghan Markle, Prince William, Meghan Markle exposed, Meghan Markle floating, Prince Harry, royal family, Dan Wootton, Meghan Markle scandal, Meghan Markle vs. Kate Middleton, royal drama, monarchy, Meghan Markle conspiracy, Meghan Markle politics, Meghan for president, globalist agenda, UK royals, media bias, left-wing media, breaking news, celebrity drama, royal gossip, power moves, Harry and Meghan, William and Kate, British monarchy, royal secrets.